watch more Star Trek?
We're back. It's Dr. Trek and
Alice.
Cadet Alice. Hey, don't demote yourself. And what are we talking about today? Otherwise known as. Okay, so you forgot the name of the show?
Prodigy.
Oh, Prodigy. Okay. Well, it's been a while since we got to watch. We've got Murph here, but what happened to Murph?
He turned into some kind of humanoid.
Well, it's like, I think this is kind of like the caterpillar Murph became butterfly Murph. Does that make sense? He evolved, right? He was a baby, and now he's into his more...
He's like my Pokemon shirt, because Pokemon's evolve into an even stronger Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's not the wrong franchise. We're not crossing our streams today. So we just watched an episode called Masquerade. Do you know what masquerade means?
Yes.
What does it mean?
It means like people like wear masks and like wear costumes and have fun.
Mm-hmm. That's where the word mask comes from. Did you know that? That's where the word mask comes from. Masquerade. How about that? So did we have costumes in this show? What did you think of this one right off?
I think it's called Masquerade because Dal, he had stuff on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's called Masquerade.
And it wasn't like he didn't have a costume. It was like the things were growing out of him, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you remember what happened? Why was that?
Because he thought it would make him better, but all his friends were just like, "You're perfect as you are."
Well, that's the big thing. We start off, they got hit, right? The Dauntless shot them, and the Romulans shot at them in the last show. So they had engine trouble, right? And Okona is still with them. If you watch The Next Generation, the outrageous Okona, he's with them. And actually, it starts off. What happened? Does Dal like Okona?
Not really.
What was going on there?
I think he was like embarrassed. And he was just like, they like him so much that I feel like I'm being left out.
And maybe, he was supposed to be captain, but Okona's like a grown man, right? So do you think he was even feeling maybe jealous?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think he was jealous the way Gwen was kind of hanging around him?
Maybe. And then he accidentally, just like at the beginning when he was dreaming, he accidentally did that, and he was just like flew out into space. Sucked out into space,
or blown out into space, as the scientists would say. So he's daydreaming, but so they're stuck. They have no engines. Well, what happened to so just remember, so the real Janeway is on the Dauntless.
Yeah.
And remember, they had what? They had, who were those people in the big green warbird ships? Do you remember? The
Romulans.
Very good. The Romulans. But boy, they have a secret kind of black ops spy group called the Tal Shiar. And they're chasing the kids. The Admiral Jellicoe, if you ever watch Next Generation, you'll know all about Admiral Jellicoe. But he's now Janeway's boss. And what did he say?
He said
they wanted to go after them, right? And chase them.
Yes, but he was just like, don't go that way because you have to get past the Romulans.
Because they're talking to the Romulans. And this is before, you'll find this out later on, but in a few years, like in 5 or 6 years, Romulus, the planet, is going to blow up by a supernova. It's going to blow it up. And right now they know that, and they're actually talking about it. They said in another show that they were talking about the negotiations. So they don't want to mess that up and spook the Romulans. So they're holding outside the neutral zone. The neutral zone is still there. It's a place between the Federation and the Romulans. So Janeway's following her orders, but the Protostar got away when it was being shot at. So they're in the neutral zone. And you know what? Sometimes in the neutral zone, nobody's law is in place. So what does Okona tell them?
He's just like, don't go that way. I know your feelings. I know you really want to, but just don't go that because you have to get past the Romulans.
Right. Well, the kids are desperate, and Okona says they need to fix their engines, right? Jankum's got no parts, And Okona says, well, I was going to go to this planet anyway, where there's all kinds of stuff happening. What he doesn't say is there's no law. So there's like criminals and black market, right? People are doing stuff kind of shady. You know what that means? People doing things kind of below, under the table. They're doing things maybe in a place civilized. They wouldn't be able to do it because it's against the law. Kind of sneaky. So what does he do? He says, well, we can go there.
Yeah.
But on top of that, it was a weird planet, wasn't it? What was so weird about it? Noble Isle? Do you remember what was so weird about it? What was the big thing in orbit that was so different there? The elevator?
Oh, yeah, that was
the space
weird.
Elevator.
Like, they couldn't, like, beam down because of a storm. There was a storm.
And it was so stormy, they couldn't even take a shuttle down. Have you ever heard of that? Can you imagine being up in space and taking the elevator all the way down to the planet? I mean, would it be kind of scary? Could you look out the glass like they did? And
yeah, that would be kind of weird.
Yeah. Did it kind of, were you a little spooked?
Maybe. I was a little, I didn't really want to watch the part where Dal was transforming because I thought it was kind of weird and gross even.
Did it make you a little uncomfortable? Okay. But you got through it. We kind of skipped through it and you got through it. Well, why was he even changing? What happened? What do you keep saying? We're only going down to fix the ship, right?
Yes. And then he literally went off it when he said it.
Well, this scientist doctor who Okona was going to see, she was somebody who could play with your genes. She could play with not your blue genes, your genes that make you who you are in your cells, your DNA.
Oh, I was about to say, what, your genes? She sells genes?
No, that's just Russia in the 70s. No, so they went in and she's like, what did she got all excited about Dal.
Yeah, she was just like, what do we have here?
And so she scanned him, and did you see that wall?
And he was just like, ow, why'd you take my hair off? Say.
She ran a sample. She got his DNA, and she had it on that big wall. It was like all these planets that we know the different race, the Tellarites and Ferengi and humans and Vulcans and Klingons. And what did she do? She said, oh, you're kind of a mix of all these. And he's like, what?
I don't have parents.
And I was made in a lab.
I was about to say your mother is the tube.
Well, they have a phrase called test tube baby. It's a kind of a simplified term, but that's what it means. Made up. Now Gwen didn't have a mother, but she was a clone of her dad, but she at least came from him. You remember that?
Yeah, so they're kind of related on how they came. Yeah,
directly. But Dal, so everybody else thought that was kind of cool, but Dal didn't. What did Dal think when he heard that news?
He was just like, I don't have parents. This whole time I've been just a failed experiment. I stubbed his toe.
And he doesn't have parents, and he doesn't have a people. His people. He has no home planet. He doesn't have a culture that here's the way everybody looks like me does things. You know.
Yeah.
And he felt like that was all taken away from him.
Remember when one of the episodes, Dal got tricked into thinking that he saw his parents?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
And then we find out that Ferengi woman, kind of shady person, she was the one that raised him. And then she sold him to the diviner for the slave kids planet. So yeah, he's really, so you know what? We have a word here. When you're feeling really, you have a lot of fear, but also uncertainty. You don't know what's going on. You have a lot of self-doubts and you're very uncertain. And we have a word for that. You may be very vulnerable, meaning somebody comes along with a good idea. You're not thinking, you're so down and a little depressed that you jump on it. And I think that's kind of what happened to Dal here. That scientist, she's like, oh, I can make you better. And so he's like, He knew it first. He was saying, nope. What'd he say? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But then he kept thinking about it. And I think he was so shook. What'd he do? He stayed behind.
Yeah, they didn't notice. He was starting to walk there, but then he stopped. and thought. And it was just like, I'll test it out.
Yeah.
And he was just like, how long will this process take? And she just like smiled.
Yeah. So the next thing we know, the Romulans are coming after the secret police. The Tal Shiar are coming after the kids. I love how they keep saying, who are these kids? What are they, secret agents or something? So and then what happens? He goes like into super spy mode, right? He goes into super soldier.
And they're like, we're here to take the captain, and then they just get the wrong captain.
And then what happened? So they've been thinking Okona's so great, and then what does he do?
And then Dal just and then he just ruins it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Okona, the minute there's trouble, what does Okona do? He's out of there, right?
Yeah, he's just like, bye. And they're like,
yeah.
And then like a couple like minutes later in the show, like Dal's just like, I just wanted you to like me like more than you liked Okona, and she was and like what was her name?
Gwen
was just like, we love you more than we love him.
Yeah.
He loved us. You didn't.
Right. But in the meantime, they got to get away from these Romulans. Yeah. What did you think of that elevator chase? Wow.
That was weird.
Was that scary, exciting? What'd you think?
I thought it was like exciting. I loved how Dale was just like, open it. And then like she pressed it, and then he went into like super spy mode.
Who did? Dal?
Murph.
Oh, Murph. You're right. Murph, he just got arms and legs.
And then he was just like, take this. He jumped on their face, and then how did he manage to not fall with them?
Bing, 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 bing. Yeah.
He's like the Flash.
And everybody was kind of like shocked, right?
Yeah, I bet if I was there, I would go.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a good thing, because Dal, who was like going to be super, he had like Andorian antennas, and he had like a Tellarite nose, and he had like Klingon teeth, and just weird stuff and trills. I don't know. But I think he thought that was going to be, he was going to feel like he was something. And then I think it wound up where he just felt like this made it worse. Don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. But good old Murph helped him out. So they got back.
And then I loved how he was just like an umbrella.
Oh, Murph.
How was he stretchy enough? Well, he's like a puddle of he's like a puddle of putty, like slime or something.
I'm trying to figure out how he could. Oh, he's still a baby here. He's still baby Murph. He can't stretch out for us. But that was kind of a cool thing. He kind of rippled in the wind as they were flying up the thing.
Yeah, I loved it.
Do you think you could have stood in the elevator and looked out over the edge like they did? All the way down to the planet, through the clouds? A little scary?
Yeah. Like, one time I went to a museum with my mom, and like on the top, there was like a top area where you could like look down and see the dinosaur bones, and like it was like a glass handle, and I literally felt like I was holding air when I looked down. I got scared.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a normal thing. Heights and feeling like there's nothing going to hold us back. But everything got blown away, didn't it? They were all in naked elevators, right? I mean, there was like nothing protecting them. But they got back to the ship, and what happened? They get back, and they're okay.
No, but not a scratch to be found, right?
Mostly not on your feet or on. So what happened? They got back, and I guess they were able to undo Dal.
Yeah, like somehow, like they have this machinery and like this little claw.
Zero's pretty smart. They have their own sick bay, so I guess Zero is the doctor now. But so Murph goes bonkers and he saves them, and so what happens? They make him the security chief.
Yeah, and also guess what? Like Rock Talk started her own show.
Oh, with her own. Well, she had been. They made her the security chief just because she looked big and tough, right? But what did she really want to do?
She wanted to learn and like have fun.
She wanted to be what did she want to study?
History.
History and science?
Yeah.
Science. She wanted to be the science person, and they were just making her security because she looked big. So she got to be really what she wanted to do, and they've decided that Murph is really the best, somehow the security guard officer chief guy.
And I love how she was just like, now that Murph is our security guard, I finally got to do some recording,
some science, and talk about it,
And me and this, what was his name? The robot guy.
Oh, Zero.
Oh yeah,
we're a little rusty.
Me and Zero were able to remove Daph's like weird thing.
His implant.
Yeah.
Well, and then she was able, she was like able to redo his genome, and she got rid of his little android. We saw her getting rid of the, weirder things have happened in Star Trek. People get disguised as different species, and it all goes back to Kirk being a Romulan. But that wasn't so incredible. And so they got Dal back to normal. He felt better. Okona has left them. But meanwhile, back out at the edge of the neutral zone, Janeway was under order. She said they couldn't chase them, but if they see the Romulans getting the protostar, what was she supposed to do?
She was supposed to listen to them?
Well, he said, you can't chase them, but if the Romulans take it, what did he say? He said, destroy it. He said, don't let it fall into their hands, right? The secret weapon. Secret engine.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody was like, you can't blow up the protostar. It's been what you're, and you've got to find the mystery of Chakotay. And she's like, hey, orders are orders. I don't like it. But now Ensign Essentia is the little helmsman, right? The officer. And she's a Trill. And she's been helping Janeway. But it got weird at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, she's just like, you're not alone. You're not the only one that wants the protostar.
Because the diviner, Gwen's evil dad, we keep saying, he's still a kind of thrown. He still doesn't know quite what's going on, right? Since they revived him. And she walks in. What did she had a button on the back of her neck.
Yeah.
Like Dal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and like, I was almost just like, at that time, I was just like, what if she's Dal's? What if she's Gwen's mom? I don't get it.
Well, I don't know if she's her mom, but I think she's another Val Nakat. That's their people, right?
Yes.
And now that we know the diviner is a time traveler who's coming back in time to stop Federation and Starfleet contact with his planet, because his planet blames that blames the Federation visitors for creating tension in his world, and they wound up blowing themselves up. And he was the last person alive, right? So he's going to time travel to stop that, which his whole mission was to stop that happening.
And also he wants his daughter back.
And he wants his daughter back. Well, that was all fine until she ran away because she couldn't believe her dad was that mean and evil and had slave kids, right? At the beginning. But what happens here? So Essentia is not a Trill. She's not really a Starfleet officer. She's really one of them. And she says, you're not the only one on a mission. So she's a time traveler meant in case he can't do it. She's like the number 2 that can make it happen if he can't. But nobody knows.
But now there's 2 supervillains.
Well, right. And it's almost like she's a spy. And Janeway has no idea, does she?
Nope.
Nobody on the ship has any idea. But we do. Was that kind of scary? Little tension now?
Since I already remembered like when that happened, and she was just almost and like the table. Remember the table?
She had a dreadlock in the table.
What? How did?
I know.
How does Janeway not know about that?
I don't know.
And wouldn't Janeway at least hear them like talking?
Well, there's a lot of privacy on a Starfleet. They value people's privacy. But you know what? If Gwen's dad went back in time with his own dreadlock, maybe Essentia, if that is indeed her real name, maybe Essentia went back in time with a dreadlock too. One of those big robot alien guard fighters.
Yeah.
Maybe she had her own, and that's who's in the cube. And she's just known how to. She's masquerading. There's that word. Masquerading as Essentia, a Trill officer, when she's really a Val Nakat trying to do that. And she just was able to hide her own dreadnought that came back with her. I guess. What else happened? It's kind of spooky, though. Janeway has no idea. The real Janeway has no idea, does she?
No.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen next?
I have no idea.
Do you think we're going to have to watch another one and find out?
I want to do it tomorrow.
Okay, we won't do it right now. What was your favorite moment tonight? What was your favorite part of this show?
Let's see.
You didn't like the part where Dal was changing.
No.
That was a little weird, a little gross.
Yeah.
Creepy.
I think my favorite part was at the end because I thought that part was really cool.
What part? The chase on the elevators? Or?
No, at the end, like at the very end when like Dreadnought comes out and like.
Oh, when we find out she's really like a spy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, whoa, she is not who we thought she was. And Janeway still doesn't know.
If I was there and like I would probably like be watching out the window very carefully.
You'd be the fly on the wall, the way we like to say. You'd like to be that.
Yeah, and like I would probably be one that was like super like I could probably be like Murph. I would probably be like climbing walls. Okay. Probably be very good at fighting Chiglets.
Well, the scary thing is Janeway.
I'm hitting the camera.
Commander Tices, her Andorian first officer. None of them, the rest of the crew, none of them know what she's up to, do they?
Yeah.
I bet she's going to be sneaky and just. Well, I wonder. I guess we're gonna have to watch the next show and find out, huh?
Yeah, and if I was there, I would run inside and I would be like, one of your people aren't actually what you think they are."
But that's if you found out and you were there. But she's in that room by herself, isn't she?
Yeah.
The two of them. So I guess I don't know if you could have. Who was your favorite character in this show, this episode?
Probably Janeway.
Really, the real Janeway?
Yeah, because I thought she was pretty cool.
Okay, you mean the way she followed orders, even though she wanted to chase them?
Yeah, I thought like keep up on yourself. Just do what you want. Nobody's in charge of you. Nobody's in charge of you except for your parents. If
Okay. Well, it was also kind of cool that Dal kind of learned the lesson. They all said, "We like you just how you are. Don't be." Dal thought he would be perfect, right? Is there any such thing as anybody who's perfect?
No.
No. We all make mistakes sometimes, don't we? And we all have our little bugaboos that sometimes we don't have good eyes. Sometimes we don't. I don't know. So something is wrong with all of us, but we're all who we are. And we
I have 0 lips.
You have 0 lips. Well, now you do. I started to say 0 doesn't have lips. So how do you have 0's lips? 0's just a gas in a bubble. How do you have 0 lips? Oh, you mean 0 lips. Okay. Well, I can't wait to watch the next one. Can you?
Yay!
I guess we're done. What do we tell people? We're going to say like and subscribe and hit that like button, right?
I'm a horn. I'm a horn.
You're a horn?
Horn face.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it, everybody.
Also, I brought my kitty cat.
Oh, okay. Has nothing to do with Star Trek, but okay. Or Prodigy. Maybe we can make her a Cation sometime. You know, Cations are the cat people. Do you know that? Remember the little baby, the little girl cat baby?
Yeah.
Back on their world, their mining world. Maybe we'll see her later too. I don't know what's going to happen. They still are in a mess. They still barely are getting the ship working. They've still got to get away from whatever Essentia is doing. We'll just have to see, won't we? Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching again. What are you doing? Hitting the like and subscribe button for people? Okay.
Yeah. Smash that like nobody else, like the Hulk. Yeah.
Okay.
Act like that.
Wrong franchise. Okay. Smash it like Rock Talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Smash it like the Hulk, everybody. Okay.
In Star Trek terms.
Okay.
Smash it like Rock Talk.
Yeah.
Or something. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Smash.
Trek well.
Give me a high five, everybody. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, Cadet.
Boom.